session of Final Fantasy Randomizer. We've got an exciting exhibition match for you guys tonight. And hopefully it's going to be fairly entertaining. And by entertaining, I mean, God help the poor runners who are doing it. In me with Booth tonight, well, first of all, hey, it's me, Woat. And with me we've got Falconic, first of all.
Hello, hello. Hope you guys are ready for this. It's going to be a brain melter.
And in addition, Will Cleosis is here with us tonight.
Is that a Woat I hear?
It is indeed a Woat.
Woat taking off the introduction tonight. Thank you very much. Our maiden voyage, Falconic FF, Woat, and Will Cleosis. We're going to join you tonight for the reveal of the second round of the Swiss tournament here for the 2018 spring tournament for Final Fantasy Randomizer. And then we're going to have a little surprise for you coming up in a little bit. We're still working on that right now. We've got the players lined up, but we're certainly going to have a good time after the announcement of the matchups. We'd like to thank Zardia. He's doing our restream tonight. He's doing the tracking. He's working on the reveal, and we're just going to guide you through some of the matchups. We're going to tell you a little bit about some of them that are scheduled, a little bit about the players. We're going to run through them. These matchups have been available for a little while, so that for scheduling purposes. But this is the first time that we're going to reveal them to the public that didn't have knowledge of what it is that's going to go on. And to review, 1-0s so far are going to play 0-1s with only one matchup based upon how many entrants that we had of 1-1-0 versus 1-0-1.
And right you are. So, I guess we're still waiting to kind of get a kick over to the challenge page so we can kind of talk about some of those matchups. Ah, there we go. Right on cue. Or close enough to it. So, Will, why don't you walk us through some of these and let's see what we can come up with here.
I seem to be having a little bit of trouble viewing the stream at the point in time. If you can give me one moment, working on a little difficulty here. Zar's working as hard as he can. There we go. Okay, yeah. Well, let's start in the upper right-hand corner. Upper left-hand corner. Brilliant and Insane against Solaris Drix. I'm going to tell you this right now. Brilliant and Insane, what a showing in that first week. Close matches. He went at it with Lord Fizzlebeath. Tooth and nail. These guys put on one heck of a show, and Brilliant and Insane was within seconds of taking that victory. That was one of the very best matches of the first round. And in my opinion, Brilliant and Insane is, if not he's definitely one of the top 0-1s so far here in the tournament, and I think he could potentially go on a run here. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of him. Solaris Drix went up against High Spirits. I watched that match. Solaris Drix performed really well. I thought Solaris Drix was in the lead, in a good lead, but High Spirits came up and took out Solaris Drix to move to 0-1, to move to 1-0 for High Spirits. But Solaris Drix, I think him and Brilliant and Insane are going to have a good match. I'm looking forward to this one, Falconic.
Yeah, absolutely. That Brilliant and Fizzlebeef match that started off the entire tournament was tooth and nail, neck and neck. I believe at one point they were a second behind on getting into Chaos. They ended up having to do a rematch, and the rematch delivered just as well. It was fantastic.
It definitely delivered, Falconic. It did. And from my understanding, I went through some of the past. I don't think Brilliant and Solaris Strix have played before. So we're talking about yet another maiden voyage here. Move to the right. Let's take a look. The Hangry Canuck and the Joker MB. I believe this is a battle of 0-1s, Falconic?
That's what it's looking like from what I'm seeing. So this is going to be an interesting one too, because if I'm not mistaken, Joker's been a little bit out of the game for a few months here. And the Hangry Canuck is a relatively new player, if I'm not mistaken. So both of them are still kind of getting some rust off, still, kind of trying to find their rhythm with the game, especially with these new flag sets that we're working with in the Swiss round.
That's right. Well, the Hangry Canuck's been putting in a lot of work. He's been asking some questions. He's been playing the game a lot. He's probably putting in a little bit more time than the Joker. And the Joker, former commentator buddy of mine, great guy, experienced player. He's got the knowledge, most of the knowledge already. I don't know how much he's playing, though. I haven't seen a lot of him. In talking with him, he He doesn't seem to be practicing a lot. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to see his first round match, but I think the Joker, I think he wants to bounce back. I don't think he wants to lose 2 in a row. Again, yet another interesting matchup that I'm looking forward to watching here. Moving on, Rainbow Poogle and Zarby. Let me tell you about Rainbow Poogle's match. I called that match. It was the only match that we had here in the first round of the Swiss tournament where something that doesn't happen very often happened. The bridge was an incentive item, and what ended up happening was the tail fell into the incentive item pool, and the crown got lost. The crown could have been anywhere in the world. It wasn't like it was the cube that got lost, which locked out part of the world to where it could be. The crown got lost, and both players had a really rough time with that seed. That is not indicative of Rainbow Poogle's skill or her style at all. Completely thrown for a loop. Zarby, another veteran to Final Fantasy Randomizer. Zarby can play this game. A battle of 0-1s. I think that the winner here that emerges, I think they're going to win a couple more games too. I look for them to go ahead and move forward, and I think they're going to get towards the playoff of here. I think this is a pretty critical matchup for both of them, Falcon.
I agree. Zarby, he was my opponent in week 1, and if I recall correctly, he actually got to TOFR before I did. Very, very rough TOFR. It required a little bit of grinding. Unfortunately, he went in a little bit early, but that's not a mistake I expect to see him make again. I really expect he's going to pull through. He's 0-1. I wouldn't doubt if he pulls off a string of wins here soon. And Poogle, of course, alpha tester, very knowledgeable about the game. They're not going to stay defeated very long, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. That matchup's going to come later in the week. It's going to be one of our last matches here in the second week. With Rainbow Poogle being out of town, but she's hyped for it. She's been practicing. We've been talking about it, and she's going to come back and she's going to fire back as best as she can against her opponent. Moving on, Edge Figaro and I am the Schwartz. Another battle of 0-1s. Now Edge Figaro, he just played last night, and he had chaos on his knees. Well, he had him down.
Oh yeah.
He just couldn't quite finish the job.
Well, so, it was a double nuclear chaos. I actually did the call for that race, and it was just one of those situations where Edge gave it everything he had. Went to Temple of Fiends Revisited, probably a little bit lower level than Prudence would have suggested, but he had Life 2 on 2 characters, and if it hadn't been a double nuclear chaos, then it's quite likely that Fuzzy Mage, his opponent in that match, would be sitting here up against I am the Schwartz.
I am the Schwartz, new to the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. We've seen him a couple times. I believe I think he's a Zelda player, Link to the Past. I believe that's his main game. I've watched him out of the corner of my eye. I'm impressed. He doesn't give up. He understands the game very well. If he continues to play, I think he could be a potential dark horse here in this tournament, and I think he's definitely going to get a couple of wins. There's no question about it. I really didn't want to play him matched up in the second round because I just don't know much about him other than the guy can play the game, and that can be dangerous, Falconic.
Yeah, absolutely. When you go into these matches, some of these people you've watched on YouTube, some you've seen on Twitch, and you kind of understand the way that they play. The dangerous opponents are the ones you haven't seen. You don't know what they're going to do. You're not sure what they're capable of. And this is one guy that can easily surprise somebody and just turn everything around. So I'm excited to see which one of these two is going to pick up that first win.
Once again, Zardia, thank you for taking care of the restream here, bringing up the challenge page. We're going to move on to the next matchup. Speaking of Zardia, another battle of 0-1s, but let me tell you, 0-1, don't look at paper on these two players. Zardia, co-administrator of the league, Final Fantasy Randomizer. He ran into a death touch Tiamat in his match, wiped his entire party. Zardia lost so much time. He lost experience. He was taking fights in the Sky Castle. He had his Vorpal. He had his strategy set up to go ahead and move on, take on the water, take on Kraken, and then move on to win the game. He was in the lead, but the wipe to a death touch Tiamat out of nowhere took him out. Wilkliosis was able to get past Tiamat with a Poison Smoke Bane after 2 death touches. That was the difference in the match. Not indicative of his playstyle at all. And speaking of...
But yeah, I was going to say, before we move on, can we just roll back a second? You're telling me Zardia used the Vorpal, really?
Zardia had the Vorpal. However, what happened was Death Touch Tiamat out of nowhere completely rocked his Light Warrior team, and it completely changed our strategy. And he is in the 0-1 bracket right now. He does get the matchup with Demarine here. Demarine, very similar to I Am the Shorts, a little bit newer to the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. Let me tell you what, Demarine can play. Another person I didn't want to get matched up with because I know they can play, but I don't know a lot about them.
Yeah.
Great showing, great time against probably the number 1 seed in most people's mind, Tristal MTG. Great showing against him the other night.
Yeah, Demarine, I know her a little bit. Well, first of all, from doing commentary with her last night, but also I've seen her in the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise community a good bit. And very knowledgeable there and very quickly picking up with Final Fantasy I. I actually caught a few of her practice streams, and progress has been excellent on that front. And so I really do expect that this is going to be another really good match. And both of these competitors are definitely going to be looking for for that win. And I think whoever winds up going to the 0-2 phase is going to be probably among the most dangerous people in 0-2.
That's right. Well, moving on, Jay Coper, well-known player in the randomizer community and just video game community in general, very successful, very competitive, plays a lot of games. Jay Coper can really play video games. Yet another guy I did not want to be matched up against. Definitely not. And the Black Knight. Another battle of 0-1s. The Black Knight. We're going to take a look at him tonight, guys. On the exhibition race that we got coming up. The surprise. The shenanigans. Another 0-1. He's going to keep fighting. I tell you what, I've had some conversations with Black Knight Falconic. He's just like us. He loves this game. He's going to keep playing it. And he just will not give up.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Black Knight. He might be new to it, but he's got a puncher's chance if anyone has one. He seems to just dive into challenges. He goes into races that maybe he thinks he has no chance of winning whatsoever, but eventually he's going to get that win. He's going to get the experience along the way. This is a race tonight that we're going to have that is going to really challenge everything you know about the game, all your experiences, and no better way to learn than to just jump in. So this is somebody you're going to see that might be new. After this tournament, it's going to be a name that's going to stick around with you, and you're going to expect a lot more out of him for sure.
Black Knight made 5 steps forward the other day. He's just going to continue to move forward. I don't see too many steps back in that process, Walt.
Oh yeah, not at all. I mean, it's one of those things, and that's always a story of these speedrunning tournaments is, you know, you start out not necessarily really having a grip on the game, but trial by fire is pretty much the name of the game. You very quickly learn things just by having to struggle against these seeds.
Bismarck and DD Gamings. Now, DD Gaming's, again, been in this community for quite a long time. My understanding is he's been out of the country. He's been really busy. I don't know much about DD Gaming's myself, but he's going to be here. He's going to take on Bismarck, again, in a battle of 0-1s.
My biggest concern with Bismarck is he going to be able to get past a very, very easily made mistake? I know he's going to pull it off. I've seen his races. I've seen some of his trials and practices he's done. He's one of the best players, and the fact that he's 0-1 is a scary thing because he's easily going to pick up a win here soon. I wouldn't doubt if it's on this first one, but we'll see.
The question here is, can Bismarck take out the Circle of Sages boss, Wout?
I mean, it is a challenge. There's 12 of them. It's the biggest outnumbering you're going to encounter in the entire game. You know, you have to know where you're aiming for, and you have to be quick about it. It is a skill ceiling, but if he can break through it, I like his chances.
Trenton GL takes on Ali Gerbrap. Another battle of 0-1s here. Trenton GL, I've watched him practice. I watched him practice the other day. He's doing some routing work. He's doing some early game work, party selection work. I really like what he's working on to work on his game, because that's what I did originally too, and I think that's going to benefit him very much. Ali Gerbrap, long-time player of this game, very successful, great showing the first time. This is very interesting matchup for me. This is one that I targeted, that I wanted to make sure that I watch. 1 of 3 for absolute sure, and would certainly look to work on with someone like Falconic and Wout. But this one right here, interesting. I don't know if we're going to get a restream on this one based upon the scheduling, but
yeah, I was going to say the schedule is currently suggesting that they do not wish to have a restream, although they will be racing tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern if you want to try and track down their channels on your own and give a watch to what they're up to. You can also, of course, check them out on the SRL page for the race.
Split Punched and Shilesia. We're going to see Shilesia tonight here in the exhibition shenanigans that we've got coming right up. I'm a big fan of Shilesia. A wonderful person, wonderful player. An absolute joy to be around and a great joy to watch as well. This is definitely, in my opinion, the most interesting 0-1 match. Split Punch going down to Fuchsia Fantasy, one top player here in Final Fantasy Randomizer, and Shilesia made a little bit of a mistake. It happens. He got caravan bossed, if I'm not mistaken. But the winner here they're gonna get more wins too, and I think that the loser here is going to be by far the most dangerous 0-2.
Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to it because of Split Punch's classic strategies. A little bit idiosyncratic, but also effective whenever they actually work.
Magius and Drumbordist, two players that I believe they were both in the first Final Fantasy tournament. I know they were certainly around at that time, both well knowledgeable in the game. They're going to go ahead. They're going to drop the gloves. Interesting match here. I don't know if they've played before. I believe they have. And you can see the rankings on the right-hand side. You can see we don't quite see Magius and Drumbordist in the list, but it is not indicative of their experience or their skill in this game.
Yeah, I would point out, though, that Drumbordist was part of what was probably one of the most exciting finishes of the first round, if not the most exciting. The 3-second difference between him and Sforzando. With the difference, of course, going to Sforzando, but it was a race that could have gone anyway. I was doing tracking for that, and it was a rush as they just went for it.
Lord of the Synth takes on Len the Cat in a battle of 0-1s. If you have not seen the match between Len the Cat and Quicklet, oh boy. The most difficult seed I have ever seen. Ruby required. It's not even the item placement, it was the enemies here. I don't know where to start with describing this match because there's so much. I wouldn't be able to do it justice. I did the call on that. Czar did the restream. It's on his channel. If you want to see a cluster, if you want to see a difficult game, if you want to see two players that don't give up and can't get the floater for 2 hours because you just couldn't, that's the one to watch. I like Linda Cat in this matchup. He's going to come back with fury. He's got to be upset.
The best part of this matchup is that match that he's talking about with Linda Cat and Quicklet happened yesterday. Lord of the Synth played against Silverfire last night, and they also had a Ruby locked floater in their seed.
Lord Fizzlebeef and Demon Frog. A battle of 1-0s. No? Battle of 0-1s. No, this is the odd one, excuse me. Lord Fizzlebeef's 1-0. He had that match that we talked about earlier with Brain and Insane, just clipping out Brain and Insane in an absolute roller coaster of an emotion fest. Lord Fizzlebeef, wonderful showing. I think he's going to do some damage in this tournament, definitely. Demon Frog, tough seed against Ishbin Maya. I watched that game. Demon Frog did everything right. He executed well. He just went to the wrong place, Falconic. It happens.
That's actually one of the matches I didn't get a chance to see, but I have been watching some of the practice runs from Demon Frog and very excited to see Fizzlebeef obviously putting up 2 great matches in week 1. You couldn't ask for a better matchup. I'm very excited to see what happens here.
Battle of 1-0s. Arson Horse and Bratster. Knockdown Dragout, Wout? What do you think?
I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. Both of these guys are walking into this fresh off a victory. They're looking to, kind of secure that position with the 2-0. I mean, regardless of skill level, they're going to go all out, and the only real question is, which of them is going to take that gamble that pays off?
Arson Horse, again, newer to Final Fantasy Randomizer, newer to the community, newer to the league. A lot of people don't know a lot of things about him. I can tell you that I know one thing. This guy's a dark horse, and in my opinion, he's right up there at the top of the dark horse. I think this guy's going to do some damage in the tournament. He's one to watch. He's definitely not one to underestimate. Speaking of one not to underestimate, the next matchup, Falconic FF, he's joining us in the booth here tonight. against White Mage as a guy. Falconic, again, a little bit newer to the Final Fantasy Randomizer League. Falconic's going to do some damage in this tournament. He definitely is. I see him moving on very, very well and progressing well and definitely looking to get into that bracket stage. I think that he should put his goals up a little bit higher, and I think that he can possibly attain them. He's matched up against White Mage as a guy in this battle of 1-0s who was able to finish an over 3-hour seed to take out Rainbow Poogle in one of the toughest matches that I've seen for item placement.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. White Mage as a guy is definitely not someone who's going to give up easily on a seed. And if nothing else, has learned by fire, where to look for stuff. So good luck, Falconic.
I'm definitely not looking forward to somebody that I know, no matter what we see, what the game throws at us, they're just going to keep chugging along. There have been plenty of practice seeds that I've had where it's just been a little bit too easy to go ahead and turn it off and walk away. And if that happens during a race, White Mage is not gonna walk away. He's gonna stick it out, stick it through. He's gonna find a way to win. So it's definitely been an interesting match for sure.
Fuzzy Mage last night was able to take down Edge Figaro in a pretty darn exciting match, I must say. Fuzzy Mage, a lot of people didn't see that coming. Now, I personally have had a lot of conversations with Fuzzy Mage. He asks a lot of questions. He's learning, and he's a quick learner. Fuzzy Mage taking out Edge Figaro, I was a little bit surprised, but he did it, and he moved on. And winning's winning. He keeps getting better and better and better every day, just like Black Knight that we talked about earlier. But he's up against a buzzsaw. Well, he's playing Minochi 85.
Minochi 85 being one of our Season 1 champions in FFR League. Co-champions, I should say. Minochi is definitely not someone you're going to be able to sleep on. If Fuzzy Mage was going to walk out of this with the 2-0, he's going to have to probably, I would say, take a couple of risks that you normally wouldn't want to take in a randomizer. Maybe it's going to be making a marsh cave dive. Maybe it's going to be skipping out on Ice Cave in that incentivized location. But he's going to have to make a move that he doesn't expect Minochi to make and hope that it pays off, I feel like.
So this is actually one of my most anticipated matches of the entire tournament, because Minochi's one of our runners that blazes through seeds. He'll go in fearless, underleveled. He understands what spells to use, which items, how to get stuff done at an early level. If you watch Fuzzy Mage's match last night, what saved him was that he took the time to grind up his knight, and his opponent didn't. His opponent actually got to TOFR early and wiped, but because he had those levels, he spent that extra bit of time, he was able to pull off the win against Chaos. If Minoki goes in early and fails, Fuzzy's got the strategy, and he's already proven it, that he can go in with a little bit higher level and take that out. So this is going to be a fun one to watch.
That's right. And as good as Minochi 85 is, he is a blazer. He will go right through it. I watched him do the challenge seed last night. Minochi, sometimes he can get a little bit lost. It's one thing to watch for. If he gets lost again, and Fuzzy Mage can take advantage of it, Fuzzy Mage, he could really make this a game. But Minochi's a buzzsaw. I didn't want to see him in this round, but good luck to both players. Next up, a Battle of the Titans. Number 1, Tristal MTG, inaugural tournament champion, league co-champion. He ran the table in all the stages. He's the clear favorite here. There's certainly no doubt about that. This matchup's scheduled for 9 p.m. on our sister network, our other broadcast partner, Speed Gaming. That's on Saturday night. He's going to battle the 1-0 Will Cleosis, who was able to come back after making a small mistake and forgetting he had a floater in his inventory. But he recovered from that. He buzzsawed through, was able to, of course, take out Zardia in the first round. In what I think a lot of people consider that an upset vote. There was a lot of voting. Zar was overwhelming. But it's a...
I was going to say, I think the one thing you really need to take into account when you're talking about Will Cleosis is just how humble he is, and just how he's just never willing to talk himself up.
Absolutely not. He's too humble for his own good. But if week 1 taught us anything, it's that anyone at any time can win the game, and it just takes the slightest indifference between runners. Just maybe routing, maybe it's the gear that you go for, maybe anything at all. it could be Death Touch Tiamat that is the difference maker. Maybe one runner uses Bane, maybe one runner just face checks, and it'll be interesting to see if maybe there's a deciding.
Yeah. That being said, though, Will is going to have his hands full. Tristal did post the fastest time in the first round with an hour, 10-minute finish to start things off. So it is going to be an intense match, and that is going to be over on Speed Gaming come Saturday. So, that is definitely one I would check out. What else are you going to do on a Saturday night?
One thing's for sure. I think, Wout, you said it. Will has his hands full. He does.
Absolutely.
Moving though, and Salty Fry. Salty Fry was I think he was in one of the first matches here. He went ahead and he moved to 1-0. Tilo moved to 1-0. I don't know much about this match. If we take a look at the rankings, you see Salty Fry up there. He's number 12 in SRL rankings. I think he's even better than that. You don't see a lot of Salty Fry. We don't know if he's practicing a lot, but he's 1-0. He's 12 in the rankings. No one to be trifled with, Falconic.
Yeah, again, it's the quiet ones you got to watch out for. He's obviously got the rankings. He's done the runs. You don't see too much of him, or at least I haven't these days. Tilo almost always up and running. Leading into this tonight, we were seeing some of his practice runs. So this is going to be a good one to watch. I'm excited to see which one's going to pull ahead.
That's right. Leading into this reveal and the exhibition coming right up, Random Mania was hosting Tilo. He's out there practicing. He's playing the game. He wants to get better, and he wants to win this match. No question in my mind, Wout.
Yeah, and I admit I'm more familiar with Tilo from his Dragon Warrior Randomizer play, but from that I know he is not someone that you can sleep on. Even if he is, fresher when it comes to FFR, he is still experienced with the RPG randomizer scene and still knows those beats you have to watch out for in order to make it through a randomized seed.
Edgeworth and X Ice Blue. Scheduled matchup here for the second round. Edgeworth just skated through the first round to move to 1-0. He fought, he clawed, he did everything he possibly could to get to 1-0. X Ice Blue, tough matchup. He had to earn it a little bit, but he showed his skill too. Two top players. These guys are absolutely amazing. Take a look at the rankings. Edgeworth is number 6, X Ice Blue number 10, and X Blue, if he wanted to, there's no question in my mind, he'd be right in the top 5 if he wanted to. He'd definitely be right ahead of Minochi at least. I don't think that. I think everyone probably knows that. We're not sure what's going on with this matchup at this time. Things are kind of up in the air. I really want to watch this. I want to get the popcorn out. I'd like to get with Rainbow Poogle and get her with her ice cream and sit down and watch these two Titans go at it. But we'll see what happens here. Moving on, we got Maya and Papa Foys. Maya and Papa Foys actually ran the doubleheader a few days ago, and they both took out their opponents in a very, very interesting matchup. These guys, both veterans. They've got a lot of play. Mayat is very popular in the community for his Wolves impersonation. Papa Foys, he was in the first match that I ever watched back in, I think it was September. So okay. I've certainly got a history with him as well.
Well, not to cut you off, but you can't bring up Meowth's wolf impression and not give it your best shot. Come on, Let's hear that roo-roo-roo.
That's right. Go ahead, Falconic.
I haven't heard it. I'm going to try my best here. I think it's a roo-roo-roo-roo.
Falconic takes it in the booth today for the roo-roo-roo-roo-roo. Tyrannex and Fuchsia Fantasy. Fuchsia Fantasy and on an absolute tear. It started right around stage 6 of the league back a few months ago, and he's never looked back. He's take no prisoners. He's going to do well in this tournament. I'm telling you that right now. Tyrannex, out of nowhere, moves to 1-0. He's going to take on a tough opponent here. I know Tyrannex. I've had some conversations with Tyrannex. He's practicing. He's doing strategies. He's going to do everything he possibly can. This matchup is probably pretty similar to the earlier Titan matchup that we talked about with Tristal MTG and Will Cleosis. So I think Tyrannex, he might look to take some risks. He might look to take some moves. Hope that Fuchsia makes a mistake. He doesn't very often, but he's definitely going to try to win this match. I know he wants this. He told me himself. So we'll see how that plays out. Sforzando, my buddy, broadcaster. I think he finished 6th in the league, in the inaugural league. Where is he for points here? He's number 14. He's better than 14. He puts a lot of time in working on the Randomizer League. He puts together a lot of this stuff. He helps us with VODs. He does everything here. Forzando, excellent player. He can really do some damage in this tournament. Green Cleric. Green Cleric's, I think, a sleeper here. Been in the league a long time, played a lot. He's 1-0. If he takes out Forzando, I got to put him right in the top tier, Walt.
Yeah, I'm apt to agree. Green Cleric, if I'm not mistaken, is also a runner of the PSP version of Final Fantasy. And, you know, not one to sneeze at either in that regard. So there's definitely at least a lot of map knowledge going into this. A lot of knowledge of kind of some of the underlying mechanics, even if, you know, it's from a remake. A lot of that still can translate over, so Green Cleric is definitely not an opponent I would sleep on at any point.
Quicklet and Silverfire. Quicklet, your warrior. That match against Len the Cat, I was there. Myself, Brilliant and Insane, and Minochi85 got to sit back and watch. He earned that match. He earned getting to 1-0, let me tell you. And I'm telling you, watch that match. It's on Zardia's channel. It was there. Silverfire,
yeah,
1-0.
Yeah, they're in a similar boat to Quicklet. Like I said, they're the other half of that, you know, on the same day, both getting Ruby Lock floatered. So yeah, it's one of those things like, you know, both of these opponents have already gone through the ringer in this tournament, and first of all are probably praying for a very easy seed tonight. Actually, they went ahead and just decided they're going to schedule their match and knock it out right after this exhibition's done.
That's right.
So,
hey, right after our reveal show here, we're gonna move on to an exhibition, and we're jumping right in here. Randomania, thank you very much. Nora, where are you? Thank you, Nora, for taking care of us tonight. We're jumping right in. We got our first match tonight. It is Quicklet and Silverfire. Silverfire going in on back-to-back days. He's gonna look to win back-to-back matches on back-to-back days. High Spirits and Ishbin Maya. High Spirits, accomplished player, a video game player. Absolutely amazing player. He's 1-0. Ishbin Maya, tough seed against Demon Frog. He's able to pull it out. He went the right way earlier. He made the right decisions, moving to 1-0 to take on High Spirits. This is one of the matches that I targeted that I would look to potentially work on, or definitely watch very closely, because I think the person that moves to 2-0 here is going to do some more damage in the tournament as well, Falconic.
Yeah, Maya, obviously being one of the more informative runners that we have, knows the game inside and out, so he's got a little bit of an advantage there. But High Spirits definitely pulled out the win in week 1, so this is going to be a match where you're going to see a little bit of a veteran up against somebody that also plays the game well. Routing is going to be a big determining factor as to who pulls this one out.
We're going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to take a look at the voting. The players for the Final Fantasy Randomizer 2018 Spring Tournament have been voting on who they think will win these matches. So let's take a look, and let's start with the most even match here. I believe it was Rainbow Poogle. I think it's on the right side.
yeah, bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, 50-50, Rainbow Poogle and Zarbi. That's going to be a good match, definitely. We've got a couple matches that think someone's definitely going to win. I'd like to point your attention to Arson Horse and Bratster. 94% versus 6%. That, I don't know about that one. I'm telling you, Arson Horse can play this game. I know Bratster can play this game. He's been doing it forever. I don't think that voting is quite indicative of that matchup. That's one I'm really looking forward to. Minochi85 and Fuzzy Mage. The public's back at Minochi, Falconic.
Again, that's the match I'm most looking forward to watching, because Minochi clearly has some very fast times. It's easy to pick him as a winner. I'm not going to turn my back on Fuzzy Mage. Fuzzy Mage made decisions in that race that ended up winning it for him, and if he does it again, if Minochi makes one mistake and Fuzzy sticks to a strategy, that 89 to 11%, that's wishful thinking.
Another one I don't want you to be fooled by. Sforzando, 94% versus the 6% of Green Cleric. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm telling you, that's going to be a match. I think the first person that makes that's a little bit of a mistake, maybe a routing area that opens the door for their opponent, and if that opponent's able to seize that one, I'm telling you, that one can go either way. I don't know if that's indicative of those two players. Well,
Yeah, speaking of going either way, I like that the only true 50-50 on this board right now is the Trenton Alliger Brap matchup.
50-50.
I think what you'll see here as we go a little bit deeper into the tournament, it's easy for some of the early voters to kind of sway some of the later voters. You're seeing some of these matches that are clearly more even than what you might see these votes turning out. So hopefully next week we start to get a little bit better shakeout of what the runners think, because some of these races that you see just lopsided will be anything but when it comes time to race.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can tell you this. I looked at the votes. I watched the votes closely. There were upsets last week. I mean, multiple upsets. I almost have to, get out my other hand to go ahead and start counting them. Of if you looked at the voting versus the results, there's no question in my mind. We're gonna have them again. It has been so exciting and so unpredictable. Whether it's the enemies and what they have, the enemy placements, the shuffling of the randomizations, the formations, the locations, the treasures, party selection. You just don't know what's gonna happen, and nothing's guaranteed in Final Fantasy Randomizer.
All right, and I believe that screen transition there is a subtle cough from our restreamer that it's time to move on to the big event.
Exhibition match. We're talking about a shard hunt. We're doing more shenanigans. Alpha mode tonight here in Final Fantasy Randomizer. We're searching for 16 shards. We've replaced a heal potion, 1 gold chest, with what's called a shard. You get those 16 shards together, you can enter the Temple of Fiends. You do not have to run through the Temple of Fiends Revisited. You go right straight to the final boss fight, Falconic?
You do, actually. Once you've got those shards, when you head into and you uncover the black orb, what you're going to see is you're going to be in front of a room full of chests. I think it's about 8 to 10 chests, but you're on Chaos's floor right away. So there's no grind to get to them. You've got the pieces, but have you prepared yourself for that fight?
Looks like we're seconds away from going. I think the players are firing up right now. We are. Meridian BC, development team, second place in the last shard hunt. Black Knight, he's not messing around. He's back for more in the shuffle. Right off the bat, Canaria Castle giving our players treasure. They're going to go to the veteran move from Meridian directly to Canaria Castle. Edgeworth and Silesia, they head and they do a normal thing to Canaria, right? So Meridian has the advantage of he's going to get weapons. He's found forces. He's already playing it up. Meridian in the lead so far.
And I'm seeing a level 1 nuke over on Edgeworth's screen.
Level 1 nuke.
So that's what's interesting about this is heading into that Canaria Castle. That's normally not the first move, but when you're doing these force shuffles, these entrance shuffles, it paid off. It was a Cardia Island location. It's free chests.
Yeah, if I am... Go ahead.
Meridian with the early advantage. Whoa, I see a lot of red on the screen.
Well, that's because tonight's flag set involves evoking the best class, the Red Mage, which, for a situation like this where you've got a forced 1 class, I personally think is the best outcome you can have. Because you got a little bit of melee offense, you can take a few punches, you got the health, you got the healing, you got the ability to do some boom, especially with that level 1 nuke. And, that level 1 Cure 3 is going to probably do some work too.
Single class challenge shard hunt tonight. Shenanigans at its best. Meridian BC getting ready to move on. Silesia looks like he's the first one out. He's going to wander off to the Temple of Fiends. We're going to see what type of location that is. He's in a tent outside like normal, and it's some sort of dungeon. He's diving right in. Let's take a look. What's he found? Canaria Castle. Where's that Elfin Castle?
Looks like Elfin. Well, can you tell us a little bit about the color schemes and why some of these dungeons are a little bit off color from what they normally are?
So, as a convenience feature, and I believe that our lovely developer Nitz is the one who came up with this. The floors that appear in the entrance/floor randomizer are going to be color-coded depending on what was originally there. So, for example, that's why you see this Elfland Castle that is tinted the way the Temple of Fiends is tinted. If there's something at Matoya's, it's going to be colored purple like Matoya's Cave. Whatever's at Volcano is going to have Volcano's color scheme, and so on and so forth. Because some of these dungeons in Floor Randomizer can go deep. And so you may very well forget where in the world you were when you went down into these places.
Edgeworth has moved forward. He's found Canaria Castle. Was that the Dwarf Cave? It looks like it was. He picked up the canoe from the king, the trusting king. Progression has been found. Speaking of the palette changes and the colors and the tinting, Nitz double underscore works tirelessly on that. And we just can't give him enough credit and say thank you enough. As Meridian picks up his canoe, he's right behind Edgeworth. Shalasia picks up his canoe. We got a three horse race here.
Looks like we got our first look at Titan's Cave there. It is Ruby Lock, though, so they're going to have to remember that and come back when they have it.
Our shard hunt is going to be forces tonight. They're going to need 16 forces to unlock the Temple of Fiends and gain access to the alternate final boss.
Yeah, so the chat is noticing that we are a little bit ahead. We have been looking at the Speedruns live page for this, but in order to keep from spoiling things, it might be best to swap over to watching the Randomania stream. Better to be behind than ahead, you know?
Thank you, chat, for pointing that out. Edgeworth has found, is that Provoca in the Marsh Cave?
Well, I'm seeing level 2 spells, so...
Edgeworth, the first to Marsh Cave, he finds Provoca. Meridian, Black Knight's still in Canaria. He's assessing the situation here. It's only his third entrance shuffle seed. Meridian finds the Titan's Tunnel.
And we do have Titan's Trove on tonight, meaning that that Titan is going to block any hope of getting to those chests without a ruby.
Edgeworth, the first to the Pirates. The Pirates causing a little bit of trouble for Edge here, but Ed's got something in his back pocket, Falconic. It's called Nuke.
Yeah, that Nuke's going to make quick work of him for sure.
Vicky the Pirate. NPC, he's going to give us an item. Those are shuffled for tonight's Force Hunt, as Edge gets a whole bunch of levels from taking out the Pirates. Silesia gets a whole bunch of levels. He's going to take a little bit slower, and what do we got?
We got Floater, plus that canoe. If we can get to that desert, we have mobility.
All right, so this is looking to be one of those seeds where it's going to be an adventure finding everything.
Meridian, BC, lower right-hand corner. He's in Elfland. He's found the fork. Marsh Cave. He can go up somewhere. That could lead anywhere. Sardis Cave. We don't know. He could go down. Could be a dead end. We don't know. Northwest Castle. Could be anything but the caravan.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but when you're dealing with a shard hunt, the first two fiends, Earth and Fire, if you can get a kill on them, that's 2 shards. If you get water or air, that's going to give you 4 shards, if I'm not mistaken. So,
it's somewhere in there. We've worked on it in development. It's been kind of tossed around. You're going to get shards if you kill a fiend. It's an option, and a very good one. Matter of fact, the first shard hunt race that we had in exhibition, that's what the winner decided to do for their last few shards, went on and won the game.
that's the challenge of this type of race is, do you head out for the treasure hunt? Do you chests that have the heals and the gold in it? Or do you take the fiend when you have the chance? Do you try to get those 2 or 3 shards that you're lacking? Because the ultimate goal here is to kill Chaos, but sometimes you can get to him a little quick. I've seen seeds on Chaos Rush where you get to him at level 12. That's not enough to take him out, though.
Northwest Castle is the Titan's Tunnel, both Elfland and Elfland Castle dungeons. Edgeworth's going to go get his floater.
Yeah, and I would have to say that Elfland is already paying dividends for Meridian. I've seen at least 2 forces, which I believe is what the shards are getting called in this seed.
Edgeworth is the first to the desert. If he can get through these giants, he's going to go ahead and ship. Black Knight progressing forward against these players, taking out the pirates. He's going to get his floater now.
And just to address the question in chat, in this seed, the shards are referred to as a force. Officially, this mode is referred to as treasure hunt. We're just calling it shard hunt because that's what it was called for a good long while, and it's hard to change names on the fly.
Item magic has been randomized. Random weapons and armor in shop. Age shield for sale. Ain't gonna help our runners. You could see the nuke gauntlet. Looks like Meridian BC has the stop stick and the zap. I'm gonna make use of that. No armor much armor here. Meridian didn't find much. I like Meridian here doing the work, diving that dungeon, picking up some shards.
Indeed. Now, what I'm really interested to see is which runner is going to be the first to make that trip to the Zardia Isles, because in floor randomizer, there is a lot, floor and entrance randomizer, there is a lot of value there. You know, because you have all those dead-end entrances that now could be anything.
Edgeworth opening up an exploration lead for sure. He digs up on rack. He's checking the item shop. He's looking for a progression item. Doesn't find anything. On rack, Oxyale block. Anytime these runners pick up Oxyale, there's something behind there in that submarine. Could be a dungeon. Could be Matoya's cave. Could be Carrie. Could be Minochi 85's lunch. You just don't know.
Yeah. Question in chat about what the zap is. So one of the other options that's been turned on in this one, as was kind of hinted at previously, magic items have been shuffled. Meaning that instead of the normal Power Gauntlet, Zeus Gauntlet, Light Axe, that sort of thing, the items that normally cast magic can cast any spell in the game. And to make sure that we actually know what it's doing, their names have been changed to reflect what spell they now cast. And so the one weapon that is just a spell name is the Defense Sword, because it is the only casting item in the game that does not have an icon.
Meridian and Black Knight both dive in the same dungeon. I'm seeing Force. I'm seeing the Force here with Meridian. He's getting some. He might have an early Force lead. Edgeworth probably has a lead in checking chests. He's picked up a couple Forces too, but he's definitely also got some information.
Meridian did have a Force lead. Unfortunately, he took a wipe there. I think he's going on an information dive and just hitting back up the chest that he saw that had the items he was looking for.
Edgeworth is in the original ice cave. It led to the first floor of Mirage. He's cleaned that out, and it led to Ice Cave. You can see him pausing. He's taking notes. He's changed his mind. He's out of there. Edgeworth is going to make a move. He's going to leave. He's going to explore a little bit more. He's going to head to Provoca, the original Provoca, and see what's there.
It's like we've got Mirage Tower. It's going to be a good amount of chests if he wants to dive in and see what those have.
Edgeworth does not feel comfortable at this point in time. He's not going to dive. He's going to take the information. He's going to move on. Shalasia making his way toward Alphaline. He's going to have some options of dungeons right here. He saves outside of it. Veteran move. Smart move.
Ribbon for Edgeworth in Dwarfs.
Edgeworth has dug up the Dwarf Cave in the first ribbon. I think that's basically the first piece of armor we found, Wout.
There have been a few other pieces of armor floating around, but this may be the best piece of armor that we found so far, for sure.
Zardia pointing out in chat that... Did Shalasia talk to the Vicky?
Oh...
Oh boy.
I hope that he did, because... forgetting Vicky is one of those mistakes that you make, and then it keeps you up at night.
We did just see the slab on Shalasia in the vanilla
Black Knight
spot.
Black Knight's got the slab. He's making a move here, Falconic. How about that?
Again, it's the quiet ones you have to watch out for.
Edgeworth's going to move on. He's going to save at the junction between the waterfall and Onrak. He's going to check out Onrak, the original Onrak first, and he finds Crescent Lake. He's looking for an item. Nothing.
Now, I think one thing that we probably have glazed over that probably merits mention. They are playing with a lowered encounter rate tonight.
Edgeworth using that to his advantage. Black Knight's got his zap. He's going to continue to check chests here. He's making a dive. Not too many people have made this dive. He could get some forces here and open up some options. Meridian BC's on foot. He does not have his floater?
Didn't see. That's one of the tricky things about the seed. Sometimes you get to a floor that you know leads to danger in the original game. It could lead to anything here. You have no idea where it's going to go. So sometimes you see that the water temple and you want to back out. Push forward. You never know what's going to be on that staircase.
Random weapons and armor and item magic shuffle just being shown on Edgeworth's screen. He goes to the Circle of Sages. He gets a Cure 2 axe. Very useful in battle, and he immediately sells it.
Well, it's one of those things. You already have Cure 3 on that level 1 slot. You have 4 red mages. You can't really use the axe for anything. You've got all the healing you need. You're better off with the gold, using that to pick up some potions for out-of-combat healing.
Black Knight is to level 15. He's in a tougher enemy area. He's nuking him down, and he's taking experience. I like this move, Falconic.
Yeah, again, he's getting the levels in. His guys are a little bit low. I'd like to see him heal him up just a little bit, just because where he's at now, he could easily take a wipe. But
And chat pointing out, specifically the ever wonderful E-Tap, that we also do have Cure 4 at level 2. So, yeah, we are good on healing.
Edgeworth continues to his exploration idea. He's starting to get a little bit deeper in this dungeon here. I'm not sure exactly where he is. I don't know if Edge knows where he is. But we're going to find out what's at the end of this dungeon. Could be a dead end, it's a dead end.
And Shy, meanwhile, is, exploring that fork in the sea shrine, heading into the Sky Castle maze first.
Meridian heads back to Canaria. He's back out on foot. My apologies, Meridian. I might have missed to Vicky, perhaps? We're not sure. Black Knight, he took up in the dungeon fork of the Marsh Cave. Does he go back down now? Does he leave? He's got some levels. I like Black Knight's position here in this match.
Yeah, this 5 times XP gain in this seed is definitely going to at least make it easier to risk some of the more dangerous floors.
Yeah, when you're not sure what's coming, you over-prepare, and he's done a good job of doing that.
Shard update. Black Knight's got 3, Meridian's got 3. We'll see if we can catch Shy and Edgeworth. Asps have Trance. Very annoying.
Looks like we got a wipe on Shylasia's side here. Those sentries were not playing. Looks like chat's pointing out that we might have seen Tiamat's floor here at the top fork of Marsh.
Yeah, one other thing I would point out too is the shard count is probably going to be a bit misleading for a while, because we know Edgeworth has dove several places that he reset out of where he found a lot of forces. So his knowledge may supplant how much he's actually done.
Meridian stock 4. Cure 4 is available for him. Roos. Meridian looks like he's going with a little slow and steady approach here. I like it. With all this madness that goes on, you never know what could happen. I think that wipe hurt him earlier, Falconic.
It definitely did. But again, I think he might have just been going in for information, which is a veteran move. You know which chest to go for, which ones not to. Sometimes if you take the wipe, the information is valuable.
Temple of Fiends has been located by Edgeworth. I believe it's in the Cardia Islands. He immediately takes out Garland, rescues Princess Sarah. She disappears. She goes back to Canaria Castle. He's got that information. Could be an important item there. Could be a cube to try to get through a cube block. You never know. Could be the Masmo.
This is where your memory gets tested. Normally you talk to Sarah and she teleports you to the castle. She doesn't do that this time. She disappears. Do you remember where Canaria Castle was?
In the hey, well, with the shard hunts that I've run, you know what I thought? The Mystic Key. The power of the Mystic Key and all those chests that it opens up to get the forces and to go ahead and attempt to progress to the end game and get that information. It's a pretty important item.
Yeah, of course, the challenge is, because of the floor shuffle, that sucker can be anywhere. It could be in places you normally don't think to look for the Mystic Key, simply because, you know, I had somewhere I was going with this sentence, and I somehow lost it.
That's the funny thing about this game, is that there were so many places after the Mystic Key was gained in vanilla that you couldn't have gotten to without it, and yet it still required it. And they're going to run into a few places here where if they don't have that key, for instance, in Water Cave, when you're diving in towards, you're trying to get to Kraken, you got to have a key for one of those doors here. Maybe it's going to hold something.
Edgeworth digs up Gaia. He's looking for an item in the item shop, doesn't find anything, settles for a whole bunch of tents. Notice what Edgeworth did here. He went directly to the armor shop and the weapon shop. He's looking for what we call a boomstick. Didn't find one.
That's the fun part about the item magic shuffle. You never know what you're going to get. If you somehow come across, say, a heal helmet that's suddenly a nuke helmet, that'll turn the entire game around for you.
Yeah, it is one of those things where that Zap Sword is probably going to wind up doing a little bit of work, I feel like.
The top of Marsh has been located by Edgeworth at the... Whoa! Quad X staff for Edgeworth. Give him weapons and look out.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think that's a nice little toy.
Split Punch's music?
Split Punch tunes being played by Edgeworth. Did he just wipe?
It looks like he might have reset out to go check these bottom chests and then double back if he wants anything that was up top side.
Edgeworth passing on the Split Punch stick?
I mean, it's not the worst play. With the level game that they're looking at and level 1 nuke, they're not necessarily going to need that Quad X strat the way they might have in, say, a more sane seed, I guess is the word I'd want.
Oh, but the love of erased and terminated vote.
That being said, go ahead.
No, I am a strong proponent of having that Quad X in your back pocket just because, you know, it can make the difference between having to endure another round or two of attacks and just ending a fight.
Black Knight continuing to dig and gain forces and gain experience. Same with Meridian. He's going to take the experience Pinata fight. He's going to nuke the Big Eye and the Gray Shark. Shylase is in this area as well. Edge is the one that's really separated himself as he finds the Sky Castle. Very treasure-rich place here.
And while we were kind of looking at everyone else, we missed out on Black Knight successfully dropping Tiamat with his, probably at the time, level 16 party, now definitely level 20.
Speaking of time, at Shylase has found the dragon. What is he going to do? He's thinking about it. He's going to back out. He's not ready for this fight yet. Black Knight was. Black Knight jumped in. Black Knight took out Tiamat. Couple forces there, Falconic. I like that move.
Ooh, and Edgeworth finds the ruby, so we might see a trip to that ruby-locked set of chests.
Edge
and
had the ruby.
Absolutely. Do you remember where that Titan's chest was? If you can go back there, that's 4 easy chests, and more importantly, another staircase that could lead to anywhere.
I think Northwest Castle, the original Northwest Castle entrance could yield 4 chests for Edgeworth if he wants to go back down there, but I don't see him doing that right now. I think he's gonna go outside and safety save. Veteran move from Edgeworth. Takes those treasures, saves up in case he runs into something.
Yeah, he's only sitting at a level 11 party digging this floor. While he's got a significantly lower encounter rate than you'd normally see, it is still a dangerous floor if you do run into something.
We got the slab pickup for Shylase at the top right, and the vanilla adamant.
And Shylase and Black Knight still haven't picked up that airship. If I'm not mistaken, Black Knight's still digging around in the Elfland area.
Edgeworth flies over to the original Gaia. He sees a block, the cube block. We haven't seen the cube. He's going to go ahead and he's going to maybe take a little bit of a risk here. No, he's not. Yes, he is. He's going to check out Lefin. Could be something valuable. Could be a dead end. Could be a big loss of time here. I like this move from Edgeworth.
Yeah, I don't hate this move at all. If he gets any encounters out here, it's a Peninsula Power enemy. He's already looking at level 11. So any encounters he gets into, he can use to get some quick experience and, make those dangerous floors a little less dangerous.
Look at that. It leads to a Lich fight, so that's going to be some it's going to be some shards for sure. He's going to get a little bit of a lead here, I think.
Edgeworth, armed with 4 nuke casters, is headed directly for Lich's chamber, and 2 more forces. Toxic. Meridian's getting it from the asps, or the cobras. I don't know. A bunch of snakes just gave it to Meridian.
He is getting snacked.
Expect Edgeworth to make quick work here of Lich, though.
Black Knight has dug up the waterfall.
Yeah, it doesn't look like...
Item. Yeah.
Robot just had some money, according to chat, and he might have found a couple of things he wants to walk out, or he may just be trying to walk this experience out.
Shyleza finding
Not
carry
the-
floor.
Fire floor has been found. The Fiend of Fire by Shyleza. He's gonna check out the red Drake chest in here, guys. Does he go with it already? Is he aware of it? We don't know. We're in alpha in Final Fantasy Randomizer. There's a lot of things we don't know.
This chest that Shyleza is going for is incentivized in this flag set, so it is worth the look-see.
Not only that, do you stop and grind on the red dragon here? That's great for the experience flags we have.
The cube. Edgeworth does not have the cube. He knows where the cube block is. Edgeworth finds the rod block. The vampire room. Is the vampire room incentivized, Falconic? Earth Cave.
I believe that it is. I believe all 4 of the Fiend dungeons have an incentivized chest in them.
It's like we have Edgeworth going in on the basement of Marsh Cave here. There's a lot of chests to be had.
Well, there's the Sword of Money Yielding, aka the Katana.
Question from Thalfon about all progression being on incentive spots. Not necessarily. We found this, what did we find in the old adamant chest? Was that the slab, I believe? That was in a chest.
Correct.
And the Circle of Sages gave us the Cure 2 axe. So the way the runners have set up this flag is shenanigans.
You got Shyleza going against Carrie with only 2 red mages.
Lightning 3 and Nuke. Carrie's still standing. Carrie's got Shyleza on the ropes. Big hit, down goes Shyleza.
Ooh, that's not the best thing, but it is one of those things, you know. He now has a little more information. He knows where that cube is, and he'll eventually come across that cube block.
We got Meridian picking up the Quad X staff. Let's see if he holds on to it.
Edgeworth has found the other entrance to the Titan's tunnel. He's going to utilize that room for chests. He's getting a little bit of money, and he's got some toys. He's got 2 toys, guys.
Wow, what a payoff from
wow.
4 chests. Ribbon and Mazda.
The Titan's just a hungry guy. Give him the ruby. Feed the Titan. He rewards Edgeworth with a second ribbon, if I'm not mistaken. Second ribbon we've seen, certainly, in the match.
2 ribbons for him. Nobody else has that ruby, so that is a huge, huge lead for him.
I would call that pretty Falconic. I think that vaults Edgeworth. He's got a lot of knowledge, and he's got weapons now. He's got Nuke. He's got all the tools that he needs to take care of this.
Have we seen Fast or Temper yet?
I'm not entirely sure I've seen it on anyone's spell list, but admittedly there are 4 runners, and they are very fast with their menuing. That being said, Black Knight is going ahead and making his attack carry in much better shape than Shyleza was in.
Yeah, with 4 nukes going out, that's going to make quick work.
We would hope. Nuke can roll low, and I've seen at least 2 low rolls. It looks like there might have been 3 there.
Edge has dug up Castle Ordeals. Interesting. It's the original Earth Cave. Looks like that's incentivized as well. He's going to make a move for that. As Black Knight lights another orb. That's 2 orbs for the rookie. He's making a move here.
On Black Knight. Black Knight's got the levels to get this done.
We talked about this the other day in the exhibition. Black Knight made 4 or 5 steps forward. He's making another 4 or 5 steps forward here, guys.
Well, it's one of those things. It is a strategy you can approach a shard hunt with. You have those guaranteed shards, and in a 16 shard hunt, that's a fairly large chunk taking out those fiends.
Meridian's gonna raid some treasure here somewhere. He finds his ruby. Does Meridian, what does he think here? It's only 4 chests. Does he kind of go out of his way? He's finding forces. He's caught onto this game. Can Meridian make that move to get him to the next level? We're going to find out.
Of course, we don't know what's in there, but you never know with these races. If you find that ruby, That's 4 guaranteed chests. You got to take it. Again, past that Titan, not only is 4 chests, but another staircase, and you never know. So you've got to take that dive.
Shalazia's backing out. He's found the fork. He's found a fork in the road, the first floor of the Sea Shrine. He's going to get out of here. He's going to gather his information, probably heal a lot.
Well, he's getting that cube out, I think, is the big thing. Probably not willing to take another shot at carry, but definitely doesn't want that cube lock to lock him out of something that he might want.
I think just a quick look at Edgeworth's screen there when he went to the menu. I think he's just about at that 16. He could be making that play towards Chaos here soon. Does he have the levels for it, though?
Edgeworth knows where the Temple of Fiends is. That's the only thing that he's the only runner that I've caught that has seen that. He knows the location of the Temple of Fiends.
So,
incentivized, or a deals chest, $900. Yeah.
So the real question here is, who do you think we're going to see tonight? I'm feeling the double war mech.
You know, you hope for it. You really do, except if you're racing and then you never want to see it. I'm hoping for it.
Question in chat about, are there enough random shards? Yes, there are. FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. This is an option. This is a live option. Normal shard hunt, in this case the forces. You need 16 of them to gain access to the boss. Whatever boss it is that you get, whether it's Chaos or an alternate final boss. There's, I believe, around 32 shards that are available in the game. You can set it to that if you want. Killing a boss, taking out a boss, you take out Lich, you get 2 shards.
That's the beauty of this game type, is that you can go out and find all the shards you want, but until you find Temple of Fiends, it doesn't matter.
Black Knight and Meridian, right around the same number. 10 each. We'd like to thank Randomania, Nora, for hosting us tonight here, Final Fantasy Randomizer, Second Round Swiss Reveal Show, Wout, Falconic, yours truly, Wiklios is joining you here on the mic. Pleasure to be here, so we'd certainly like to thank Nora. We got another match coming up. First match. Black Knights found the ship. Interesting. First match tonight. Who's up tonight? Quicklet and Silverfire, I believe. We're talking about right around 10 p.m. Eastern. Right here on Randomania. Stay tuned. The second round of the Swiss turn off, and it's going to be unbelievable, just like the first round was.
Battle of Undefeateds. Get ready.
And may Czar have mercy on their seed.
12 shards for Black Knight. Doesn't know the location of the Temple of Fiends at this point. He's got to get in that airship and do a little bit more exploring, but he'll have a pretty big piece. Meridian. What's he up to?
Looks like Meridian's about to run into our old friend Kraken, who wants a hug with 8 arms.
Meridian's gonna go after Kraken. That's gonna give him some shards. We'll take a look if he's able to take out the Water Fiend.
We've got Shalazia. Shalazia's a little bit low on force charges here, but
Shalazia's hurting right now. He's got 2 party members down. HP is down. He's in a tough area. Adamant is found by Edgeworth. We know where the Dwarf Cave is. That's an option.
Going to be another force for Black Knight.
Another force for Black Knight. Ever so closer and closer, Wout. Step by step.
He's only... If he can find that Lich fight, if he can find another pair of chests that have those forces in it, he just has to find Temple of Fiends and he's good to go.
Meridian VC's loaded. He's got Zap. He's got Quad X sticks. He's got nukes. He's got Bane. Looks like he's gonna try to nuke Kraken. 129 on the first shot, and Kraken with a big right hand does not take out his first top red mage though. Another nuke from Meridian for 190. Round 2.
And an attempt at a Quad X to see if he can just make this fight a little bit shorter that doesn't go through. But that's what I was talking about at the beginning of all of this. The nice thing about 4 red mages is they might not be able to take as many hits as, say, a fighter or even a black belt, but by God, they can definitely take a hit when they need to.
Meridian BC takes out Kraken. He's got more forces. Edge is a little bit short. It looks like he's 4 short. He's missing the bottom row there. Meridian's inching closer. He's in the area of the Temple of Fiends, too.
Meridian's only, it looks like, 3 short of his
Out on Black Knight, though, he's only 2 short, and he's got levels. And again, when you're going
And
to
he's
the
on
Temple
Mermaid
of Fame,
floor.
this is
Black-
great chess.
Black Knight has found the mermaids. Can this get him? Can Black Knight, the dark horse, be the first one with all the shards here?
Here's the big thing about Black Knight, though. I don't think he's found Topher yet.
He
Well, he
has
hasn't even
not,
found the floater
not
yet.
have
So
the airship. We don't know if he missed talking to Bicky potentially.
no, he's got the floater. I just don't think he's made the trip over to the desert yet because there was just so much value around Elfland.
I've got to give the upper hand to Meridian. I think the tide has turned just a little bit. I know Edge has the Mazmoon and an extra ribbon, but Meridian is loaded. He's definitely packing. He's also in the area of the Temple of Fiends revisited. It's in the swampy area of Cardia Islands. He's got his airship. He's right there, and he's close with the forces, and Meridian takes no prisoners. He's going to go in. He's going to go after this boss. He might be the first one there. Rod. The rod has been found buried in mermaids by Black Knight. We know where the rod block is.
All right, so Chet is informing us that Black Knight has picked up his airship. Apparently, we just overlooked it because there's a lot of action going on.
Yes, we certainly do apologize for that. I wasn't sure if he had picked up his floater, but it looks like he did. And he's close, guys.
What you're starting to see now is that Black Knight's early levels, that lead is vanishing. He did have early levels if he would have found his shards, if he would have gotten his force and found Topher. You start to see some of these other runners. Edge, you start to see Meridian catching up now. You don't have to be in the mid-20s to go after Chaos. You don't have to grind through Topher. You go straight to him.
Subtle veteran move by Meridian. He just did it down at Crescent Lake. 4 Ice 3 shirts. Backing up his nukes as Edgeworth takes out Carrie. He inches closer to having all the forces, and he's the one with the knowledge of where the Temple of Fiends is.
Charlesia with another wipe here. It's going to cost him a little bit. Hopefully he's got the knowledge to push forward, though. Looks like he might be danning 2 of his red mages here.
Well, he also has the disadvantage that I don't think we've seen any sort of life spell in a form that the red mages have access to.
Meridian's right in the area. I don't know if he found Temple of Fiends. I don't know if he checked that area. He's going to go ahead and dive the waterfall. He wants to knock this off his map. I like this play at this time. He's looking for Temple of Fiends. It could be around the next corner. We know where it is, but there's no way Meridian can know that. He wants to knock out waterfall. He doesn't want to have to come back here.
Looks like Edge is closing in on his 16. He just picked up another force.
Yeah, Edge using the dive he made earlier that he wound up having to back out of to his advantage. He knows where these forces are.
Yes, Edge has all 16.
Edgeworth is the first to 16 forces, and he's got the knowledge the Temple of Fiends revisited. He's got Nuke, he's got the Mazmoon, he's got 2 ribbons. I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't go ahead and go for it. What's going to happen is Edge is going to head straight there. And he's going to get an option of right around 10 chests, random chests, and he can go into the boss battle. Unless I say boss battle, because it ain't Chaos. Chaos might be there, but he got friends. Let's go ahead and find out who the boss is tonight for Edgeworth. The first one, head-to-head to the Temple of Fiends, right around we're going to call it the 37-minute mark of this match.
Here he goes. He's putting that orb on. So there's the chest. He's not even going to check him. He's not going to see if there's a absolute go mode.
Uh-oh. Look out. It's 2 Warmicks and Badman. It's called Warmick and Friends. Edgeworth is able to get off a nuke and assess the situation.
Whoa, I think you caused this. You called for double Warmack, and here it is.
I will gladly accept my first commentator's curse.
Edgeworth he's still standing. He's getting near the ropes a little bit. He takes out the Badman and keeps firing nukes at Warmack. 4 nuke shots into 2 Warmacks. Does not take anyone down. He's going to continue firing, guys.
When you've got 4 nukes, the best you can do is just go, go, go. Kill them before they can kill you.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, at least the nukes will clear out the bad men and make this a little more fair a fight.
Nuke spam from Edgeworth. takes out the fight. He made it look easy, guys. Congratulations, Edgeworth. Chat, get out your GGs and congratulate our winner tonight, Edgeworth.
Yeah.
With an official SRL time, 37 minutes, 9 seconds.
And that's just how shard hunt can go. I believe that it was put in as one of the quote-unquote faster modes by our dev team.
That's correct. This is an option. We're all about options. We want our players to have, and that's what the dev team just keeps doing, whether it's sliders for experience boosters. We didn't even get a chance to talk about that. But this is a nice, good, quick game. You got an hour. You can finish this within an hour. It's right in there. As we see Edge's stats, you only open 65 chests. Good, fun, clean game that you can pick up anytime and play with a friend.
That's what I love about this race style is sometimes you want to play the game, but you don't want to invest 2 to 3 hours into it. This is a game you can pick up and within 30 minutes, even if you're just doing the chaos hunt, the shard hunts, it's something you can get done quickly. It brings a lot of new experiences to the game, and it's a great experience.
Take it, guys.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, actually, hold on a second. Looks like Edgeworth is in our waiting room, so let's haul him in here real quick. GG, Edgeworth!
Thanks for GG.
Congrats on the win. What was your overall thoughts on the seed?
I mean, level 1 nuke makes these pretty easy, so my thoughts were I just needed to really just do chests per minute and hope that it paid out.
Yeah, it's looking like Black Knight might not be too far behind, at least being ready to go. He just found the crown and the ruby chest. But, yeah, you just kind of blasted through every and possibly only one to find the Temple of Fiends. You made a beeline for that airship as soon as you found it. And, yeah, you just kind of made a clinic out of this seed.
Yeah, I feel like with 16 shards, you really don't need to... You can skip chests and it really won't punish you. So, like, when I hit Waterfall, that's quite a bit of a time investment to go all the way there, fight the forced encounter tile, and then come all the way back. So for 6 chests, I just skipped that and ended up paying off.
Edge,
yeah,
Will here. Congratulations, good game. What made you go to the Titans Trove? Did you think the Titan was hungry?
I mean, it was 4 chests, and I was just going to reset out and take the ruby back if he didn't have anything.
It's like we have Meridian hitting up that exact spot right now and picking up the ribbon and the Mazmoon.
Yeah, not that you really needed the Mazmian in this particular seed.
Yeah, the ribbon paid off big though. Warmech hit the second red mage, and then there was the fire 3, and that would have killed him if he didn't have if I didn't have that second ribbon. So.
How does your approach differ in a seed like this and a race style like this versus something you'd see in the Swiss tournament here? Are levels as important? Is it more important to explore and define? How do you approach it?
You usually can get levels along the way, especially with the alternate bosses. If you wipe to them because of bad turn order, then it doesn't really take, that much time to get set back up and try again. So if you just go through as quick as possible and maybe the nukes go off first and all you have to deal with are 2 Wormeks, that's doable.
Black Knight is on the alternate final boss. Firing news, Black Knight takes down the dual Warmech and friends. Congratulations, Black Knight, the dark horse.
Fantastic finish for him, absolutely.
Yeah, Black Knight, well, we'll wait until he, see if he wants to pop into the waiting room and join us on stream to talk about kind of how he differed from you, Edgeworth, in your approach to the seed.
Ed,
Black
we
Knight.
noticed. We noticed when
Black
you went
Knight,
into
congratulations. Third place, excuse me. Third place for Black Knight, actually. It looks like. Shilasia's done? Okay. My apologies, Random Mania fans and fans. We're not exactly sure what's going on with Shilasia's stream. It looks like he may have finished. It looks like Silesia has actually finished at the 41-minute, 40-second mark. Right behind him, Black Knight, the dark horse. He's finished in third place with an official SRL time, 42 minutes, 37 seconds. And as Falconic said, we're going to try to get them in here so that Wolt and Falconic can ask them some questions about this crazy matchup here tonight. Alpha Seed, Final Fantasy Randomizer, the future of what you're going to be able to see.
Speaking of pulling people in here, GG Shalasia.
Yeah, thank you. Hello?
Yeah, you're here.
Seems I have to, yeah, but my mic is transmuting, so I'm gonna restart Discord again. Give me a second.
Edge, I have a quick question for you if you're still
Yeah.
available. So you were in absolute go mode. You got your 16 shards. You had your double ribbons. You were full of nukes on the red mages. Was there any temptation at all to check the chest when you went into the chaos floor?
Oh yeah, a little bit, but I just went for it. I mean, I would like to know what was in there, but not bad enough to actually open them.
Yeah, I think we're all curious, but it obviously paid off for you. Those, I think you got off 7 or 8 nukes, and they just made quick work of that final boss.
Okay, hold up a second. Czar is mentioning in chat that we may have been talking about Black Knight's incredible run, when in fact it was Shilazia, and Black Knight is up in Shilasia's spot.
Final Fantasy Randomizer shenanigans.
Yeah.
Tonight here on Randomania. We knew it was going to be crazy. We knew it a little bit of a mix-up on our part. We certainly do apologize for that. But we've having a lot of fun here. It's alpha. It's play testing. It's an absolute blast. A little bit of a break from our tournament that we've got going on right now. And speaking of our tournament, don't forget, tonight, about a half hour from now, the first match already lined up. Quicklit and Silverfire right here on Randomania.
Shai, can you hear us
Hello.
now?
Yeah, I can.
All right, GG.
Thank you.
Congrats on the second place finish.
Yeah, I saw it was rather close between the third spot as well.
What were your overall thoughts on the seed here?
Yeah, I think I kind of went out of my way, you know, for that one little piece. But it was a fast seed and a fun seed, nuke level 1. You can just basically nuke everything.
Absolutely. It looked like you were going for early levels there. You had a pretty good level gain against everyone else there. Was that something you were
Okay.
trying to get?
Yeah, I was thinking like no houses. How can we do this? And you saw me going for the dwarf cave, and I was like, wait, I got like level 5 or 6. Let's go back and rest up at the inn and get our magic charges back. For example, if I go into a fiend dungeon, you can never know. You can basically just kill the boss as well. So that's what I did, and it paid off.
Yeah, you and Edgeworth had slightly differing strategies, I noticed. Edge rushed for that airship and proceeded to just kind of dip into as many places as he could to pick up forces, whereas, you know, you kind of did something similar, but you did take the time to hunt down a couple of fiends.
Yeah, maybe I should have just done the first, I believe it was Elfland, because that was the most fast, you know, with the 2 bosses and quite good amount of fast inside chest, and then should have gone the route what Edge did, you know, because more free chest without any encounters, but I would have been not that high level as I was now, so.
I mean, I think in this particular seed, with the spells y'all had and the way that the whole Elfland dungeon played out, I think there was something to both strategies, and, you know, y'all finished close enough together to where I think that there is something to be said for either approach.
Yeah.
I mean, with floor shuffle though, it kind of comes down to the luck of the draw. and I think fortunately this time around the dungeons were at least they sound like they were reasonably balanced.
Yeah, but I must say I had loads of first strike though. So I was kind of lucky with that. I had like 1 or 2 ambushes on the wall run. So bless RNG. Where was the Masa Moon Edge?
Titans.
Ah, damn it. Next time.
Yeah, there was
Not
the
only
ribbon in there,
Mazda,
too.
but the ribbon as well. It had 2 items.
I just went kind of YOLO mode Edge. I just had a pro ring and nothing else.
Yeah, I think with 4 nukes you can definitely get away with that, but I ended up buying some gold bracelets and that actually paid off.
Yeah, I found one in. I believe I found one gold bracelet. I didn't even bother to equip it. I was just like, okay, I got all the force. Let's just find Temple of Fiends and go.
So
But
obviously, go on.
But for my last force, I kind of went out of my way. So, as you guys saw,
Yeah, there was a little bit of a mix-up on the stream, and your stream was actually posted under Black Knight's name. So we were all getting really excited about how well Black Knight was doing there for a while.
yeah,
And
well,
conversely, a little bit worried
ex-
about you.
early on, I accidentally hit the full screen button as well. I don't know if you saw it on the stream, but I managed to get it back in position again. So, because sometimes when you hit the wrong buttons, it goes full screen.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think that it really caused too much trouble on the restream. Or if it did, no one really noticed enough to pay too much attention to it. So, you know, I think it's no harm, no foul on that front.
Yeah, so my meme will survive another round until I raise split punch. So
All right.
I'll keep it a secret.
Yeah. You are getting a question in chat though, Shy. How did you just you kind of just jumped right to the Temple of Fiends Revisited? Was that just kind of a?
It was just like it's time to. I got all the force. It's time just to save and go scout everything, you know. And if it is not there, reset, go to another spot until I find it.
Yeah.
It was just a wild guess.
Yeah. This was just kind of crazy to try and keep up with. Where was that Temple of Fiends again?
It was in Sardia Islands, I believe. In the yeah, I'm not really good with the swamp.
I think it was
area.
Swamp. It was Swamp
Yeah.
Party Island.
Yeah,
All right.
swamp.
So all right. So that is something that would make sense. The few times I've done things like the floor shuffle, the Zardi Islands are always one of the places I like to check first myself, just because there's so many entrances there. And so yeah, Swamp being the kind of one of your first plays makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was debating though because I was close to Ice Cave as well, and I was like, no, Sardia has more spots, so more chance of Temple of Fiends being there. You know. So I can check more spots, and that's why I decided to go Sardia Islands. Basically.
Yeah, just like you would normally hit up places in the original that has a large density of chests. When you're playing a mode like this, you try to go to the area that has a large density of entrances, and Zardia Islands definitely has that.
Yeah.
Charlazia, it's Will here. Congratulations, great finish.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you think that Entrance Shuffle is the future of Final Fantasy Randomizer, and how do you feel about it?
I really like it, but if you mess up the tracker, yeah, it's a pain. But I really like the Entrance Shuffle. I will play it more. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of work has gone in from our dev team in terms of getting the Entrance Shuffle to a good place. Meridian on stream, of course, being one of the members of that dev team, and I know he's had a lot of fun testing out things and then discovering what has gotten horribly broken and going back and fixing it.
That's right, Wout. I can tell you this. I spent a lot of time with Meridian, a lot. Our playtesting team, Nits double underscore. The work that Meridian BC and Nits double underscore, you usually see him on the microphone. They can't get out much because they're working on this. They're working on new features. They're working on palette shuffles, sliders, and options for the community and for anyone who wants to play Final Fantasy Randomizer. And so it's really great to get Meridian out here, get him on stream, get him to relax, play the game that he loves. And it's an absolute honor to be able to call this man's race and showcase him for all the hard work that he does here for the community.
Speaking of his race, it looks like he's about to take his swing at Tiamat. I think he's sitting in the mid-20s on his level, so, you know, he shouldn't have too much trouble between going for the Bane strats. Wow.
Nice.
Attaboy. Bane from Meridian, ineffective. Meridian fires another Bane. That's ineffective. He's not giving up. He fires another Bane. That's ineffective. A fourth shot from Meridian. No good. What's he going to do? He's going right back at it. What's he going to do, guys? You know what he's looking for. Sleep 2 from Tiamat. No good. Bane from Meridian again. No good. Ineffective. Meridian fires another Bane. Ineffective. He's not giving up. Yet another, a third. Poison smoke. He's terminated. Down goes Tiamat.
Oh, he's pulled off the Will Cleosis. Look at that move.
I mean, how often do you get the chance to fire 4 Banes in a row?
Oh, I love it. Meridian BC with the poison smoke lights his air orb. He might have the forces at this point. I don't know. I just love the poison smoke of Tiamat.
Yeah, he should be close, especially with the Tiamat drop.
With the amount of times that we've all been poison smoked, Bane killed by Tiamat, it's nice to see somebody give it right back to him.
Did you saw my crack wipe earlier as well?
Yeah, I think I do recall seeing quote-unquote Black Knight get dropped by a couple of those.
Yeah, I got cracked. It was really early on, I believe. Creeps, if I'm correct. Can't really remember, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think any of us are going to be able to correct you on this one.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all.
Was there anything you guys did see that did surprise you about this? Anything out of the ordinary you haven't seen in maybe a few practice runs?
Not really.
I
know Meriden can roll out more of these seeds. It's easy. It's not like someone with Ruby locked floater right edge.
The only thing unusual really was 2 Warmechs, but
yeah. It was kind of close because one mech one-shotted my red mage and then another one dropped. I was just like, okay, hold A to win with nuke. And just pray that I go first.
Were you concerned about seeing nuclear from the Warmechs?
No, not really, because then you can just, if you wipe, you just go again, to be honest.
Yeah, I was more worried about seeing damage anything, like AoE damage from the evil men.
Yeah.
Because that, with turn order, means you have to get pretty lucky in getting 2 nukes off.
And because my HP pool was pretty good, everyone was above 300, so I wasn't really that worried, you know. At least I can take 1 nuke in the face and pray it doesn't kill all of my red mages.
Meridian searching for the Temple of Fiends. He found Lich. It looks like Meridian's ready to find the ultimate final boss, and he's going to keep looking. He looks like he's going to finish this out. He's going to look to take on Warmech and friends.
And just want to point out the reason why I went Sarlia Islands instead of Ice Cave, because Ice Cave is 1 location and Sarlia Island is like 4 or 5, so that made me my decision to go there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Black Knight is still digging around for his forces. He's still sitting at, I think, 3 or 4 last I looked. So he is still, making his attempt. And he's probably going to be at this for a little while, but he is definitely making steady progress in terms of level gain and exploration.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Meridian's searching for the Temple of Fiends. He's going to try the Q block area. He thinks maybe the Temple.
I even have a cold coffee now because I totally forgot when we started, so. I'll blame that on Mono. Mono, thanks to you, I got a cold coffee.
Yeah, I think most needs to be blamed on him.
That was my analysis as well. Falconic's in on this. Minochi, unfortunately, making a few mistakes lately. It's okay. He's going to go ahead. He's going to work on that. He needs a little bit more. He'll probably be able to clear that up. Hopefully for him, just in time for a second round matchup.
Yeah. And we are probably going to stick with this for a little while longer, at least another 10 minutes, although we will eventually be cutting stream to set up for that first tournament match coming up here in about 20 minutes, give or take. And that is also going to be on speed. Randomania. Can we just cut that? Can we just cut that?
Little bit. This is our first 1-0 versus 1-0 pairing tonight, though, is it not?
It is. I believe so. Quicklit and Silverfire. Silverfire won his match yesterday. Both of these guys won yesterday. They can't get enough of it, apparently. 10 o'clock right here, Eastern time on Randomania. A couple of the other matchups we have lined up for you. Split Punched and Shylazia. Shylazia, that's you. 3:30 p.m. Eastern right here on the Randomania family of network. That's on June 8th. High Spirits and Ishbin Maya on our sister network, our other broadcast partner, Speed Gaming, 9 p.m. on June 7th. Just before that, 7 p.m., Ali Gerbrap and Trenton GL, Will Cleosis and Tristal MTG, Battle of the Titans, 9 p.m. Saturday night. That's also over on Speed Gaming. Fuchsia Fantasy and Tyrannex. Tyrannex very involved with our broadcast team. He's going to take on the heavyweight of Fuchsia Fantasy, 8 p.m. That's on June 10th. That's also going to be right here on the Randomania family of networks.
I do just want to point out that you did mispronounce Tyrannex's name. I believe it's Mr. Undefeated.
Mr. Undefeated Tyrannex puts his undefeated streak on the line against a really tough contender in Fuchsia Fantasy. Can't wait to see it, Falconic.
And if you also are interested in other things that are going to be going on here on Randomania, coming up tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be having what I believe are the losers bracket finals in Pokemon Crystal Randomizer Cinco Bingo. If you haven't checked that out before, it is a thing. I don't know how the people who run it are able to get through it so quickly, but it is definitely something that's worth checking out. And on Friday night at 6 p.m., we are going to be seeing, also on Randomania, a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time randomizer showcase. And that is something that is absolutely worth checking out. They're going to have Amazing Ampharos, the developer, on the call, and it is going to be either amazingly quick or amazingly painful. And either way, it is going to be entertaining.
Demarine joins the chat. Welcome to the chat. Demarine and Zardia. One of my top 3 matches that I'm going to...
I'm going to do some other stuff.
To see that one.
Thank you for commentary. Falk, Will, both. Zar, thank you for the restream. And thanks, Randomania.
Thank you for running, Shalays. You have a good night.
No problem. I won't be sleeping. I have some stuff to do and early on today, so it's probably like tomorrow midday when I'm sleeping.
No, either way, when you sleep, sleep well.
Yeah, it will happen. Thank you.
Black Knight raiding the second garage tower. He's got 6 or...
And Meridian,
he's going to keep going.
Yeah, Meridian still has not quite nailed down where this Temple of Fiends is.
You know, one wrong turn. I mean, it's really all it takes. You one way and you get caught up in it. You start getting some weapons. You start gaining some momentum. You poison smoke Tiamat. and you get everything done, but you're just missing that one key piece. In this setup, you don't need the Mystic Key. You'd like to have it. You definitely don't need the loot. It's not common that that happens. But if you go the wrong way, you could end up with the loot. Whereas if you go the way Edge did, you find the Temple of Fiends in the future. But Meridian's, his radar, is he going to, he's in the area he wanted to go there.
England. He knows where he hasn't been yet, and he's in that area.
That's right. Here at the Cardia Islands, the normal first stop is the grassy one, the north-south grassy, nice, easy to park on area. And that's usually because you don't have to park and take a walk and get into, one of the entrances. You don't risk a fight or anything like that. It's really easy to park your airship there. That's almost always the first one that Cardia Islands that your players go to. Sometimes I go to the double one because it's got 2 entrances, and I want to find both those out a little bit faster. But the safest one is definitely the grassy. Shilazia Point, he walked right into it, essentially, and happened to find the end game and stumbled right into it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, I think, part of the danger with the entrance shuffle is, while the Cardia Islands have a lot to run the trouble, it says, well, I would have hit the very first thing, and you haven't checked all those entrances.
That's
yet.
right. And look at our winner tonight, Edgeworth. He went ahead and went with the ring route. He went with the first.
Here's another aspect of this game type. Meridian was literally 1 island away from finding TOFR, but found the slab, knew where to turn the slab in, so he's now going down that side quest. You never know where things are going to be, so literally that sometimes knowing where things are going to be at can sidetrack you, and sometimes it's all about luck.
Yeah. It appears that folks are having some difficulties with the audio at the moment, so we apologize for any audio difficulties that are going on. As Czar puts it in chat, lol Discord. But yeah, so yeah, we're just kind of waiting for Meridian to make that move while Black Knight slowly inches up from behind. I think he's up to 8 shards at this point. Did the audio just completely die? I think the audio just completely died.
I'm getting bits and pieces of you here.
Okay, so folks can at least hear me, apparently, so I guess I'm talking now. Yeah, Meridian decided to go ahead and make that Mirage Tower check. I think he just wound up finding one of the towns that we haven't seen yet. Doesn't really have anything he needs there, so he just kind of ducked right back out. So he is currently having a kind of stop and think, it looks like. And, sometimes it's better to just kind of make that think.
That's right. We had a practice seat just a couple days ago. There was a whole bunch of us in it. There was like a dozen people. I can tell you this. Edge, of course, I think he was the second one to finish. Brilliant and insane. The gentleman that is the most dangerous, in my opinion, 0-1 player here in the league. He went ahead and he took that race. It was more of a casual thing, but I got lost. Minochi 85 was flying around in circles, confused as can be. So really, really good players, really experienced players in this game, people that helped develop the game, you still get lost. I've done it. I may have done it earlier today in a practice seat.
Yeah, hopefully everyone else can hear y'all now too, but worst case scenario, that dead air was brought to you by me listening to what Will had to say. So yeah, it's one of those things, the entrance floor shuffle just brings so much more of a, it's not really a headache, because I personally enjoy kind of the exploration side of Final Fantasy Randomizer. I like to refer to myself as more of a casual player. I don't really like to race it because I like exploring too much. But speaking of exploring, Meridian is back in the Zardia Isles, and I think he is heading straight to... There it is, the Temple of Fiends.
Meridian BC has found the chamber of the ultimate final boss. He does not know what to expect. I can tell you this, Meridian does not want 2 Warmechs, and they just ambushed him. Nuke strategies from Meridian. Right off the bat, he loses his top red mage. He gets a nuke off that's going to thin out the bad men. He gets most of them. Is he going to continue with this strategy in the second round, Walt? What do you think he's going to do?
I mean, you have those level 1 nukes. You're already down a mage. You just fire and pray.
Another nuke shot takes down one Warmech. He's got one down. Meridian continues to fire nuke from his red mages. Two more. Warmech, he's got Warmech mad. Warmech one shots his top red mage. Another nuke, no good. Warmech keeps fighting. Warmech knocks down another light warrior of Meridian. Fires 3. Warmech is not happy, but another nuke from Meridian BC. Congratulations. Down goes Warmech and friends. Meridian BC, congratulations. Get your GGs out, chat. Let this guy know. Thank this guy for everything he does for the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. Meridian BC finishes in 4th place with an official SRL time, 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 1 second. We're going to try to get Meridian in here to talk about the match.
Well, speak of the devil, he shall appear. Hi, Meridian. GG.
Hello, everyone.
GG.
Not going to be able to talk with you for too long because we're going to need to get set up here in a few minutes for the next match. But how do you feel about that seed?
Well, I couldn't find Temple of Fiends. That's basically what it comes down to. I had all of my orbs, fairly early, but just wandering around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to look for a Temple of Fiends.
I think that summarizes this game type up to a T.
Yeah.
Meridian, congratulations. It's Will. How had you? We missed it, and our apologies for that. Had you gone to that island and just knew it was a dungeon? Had you dug into it? And had you not done that, what led you back to the Cardi Islands?
Oh, I knew it was a dungeon. I had gone into, I did a shallow investigation of pretty much every overworld place. So I was just looking at my tracker, looking at all the things that I had marked as dungeons, looking at, okay, what could be, what haven't I checked down the 2nd or 3rd floor that could be Temple of Fiends, and eventually found it, but it wasn't exactly the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place that I chose to look for.
Right, and one of the things that Wout, I think it was you that had talked about, is that Cardia Island suddenly becomes very important in entrance shuffle. There's a good cluster of entrances there to explore. It can be treacherous, it can be good, but it certainly leads to a lot of things. Meridian BC, I have one more question for you. Again, congratulations. Do you mind telling us real quick about your strategy taking out Tiamat?
Oh, well, Bane was a really early spell, and when I saw that, all I could think was, I have Bane, 4 free shards.
Poison smoke to Tiamat, Meridian BC with the poison stroke and Bane strats. Congratulations, Meridian. Great showing tonight. Thank you, sir.
And we are getting the textual equivalent of Czar putting his hand at his throat and making a cutting motion. So we might as well go ahead and wrap this up and get ready for our next oncoming race. So I guess final thoughts, Falconic?
I think this shows exactly what is coming for Final Fantasy. I do believe Will asked earlier, is this the future? I think it is. I think this is where we push it going forward. You're going to test a lot of people's memories, their skills, their routing abilities. I'm excited. I think everyone else should be as well.
All right. Will, what do you have to say?
Final Fantasy Randomizer 2018 Spring Tournament. I can't believe the week that we had. The matches, I wasn't even able to watch all of them. It's been a roller coaster. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been 3-second matches, there's been minute matches, there's been lead changes, you name it. A lot of it happened in the first week. I can't wait to see what else happens. And we're going to start it in just a few minutes. So we're going to kick off that second week right here on Randomania. We'd like to thank them, Nora, our restreamer, Zardia, doing the tracking tonight, doing a great job. We certainly appreciate that. Stay tuned and stay with the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Edge, Meridian, anything to add?
I may have come in last, but I absolutely love this this entrance and floor shuffle, and no matter what place I came in, I knew I was going to have fun playing. So uh, uh, I would just encourage anyone with any Final Fantasy experience uh, to come check it out and give it a try, because it's like playing the game all over again. The dungeons are completely unexpected. You don't know what you're going to find, and it's just a great feeling of exploration, trying to go through the new seeds.
All righty. Well, in that case, we're going to go ahead and cut the stream and hand things over to, I believe, Trenton and Sforzando will be carrying you guys through this next upcoming match. That should be some great commentary, and the match itself should be pretty solid. I've been Wout, and again, thank you to Randomania for hosting us, and stay tuned for more Final Fantasy Randomizer. Have a good night, y'all.